Hi, I'm Jessica from Jessica Wanders, and this is week number 13 of my $21 a week grocery challenge, where I spend $21 every week and I make 21 meals and I carry over the groceries from week to week. This is the final episode of this 2023 $21 a week grocery challenge. If you're new here, I'll leave a link up here if you want to watch everything from the beginning, all 13 episodes of this year's grocery challenge. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. You can subscribe to see more videos from me or check out the join button for other ways to support my channel. Let's see what I came up with this week. This is everything I picked up. So it was kind of scattered. I was all over the place this week. On Tuesday, Save on Foods has these great deals that they put on Tuesdays, and they had campfire bacon on for $1.49. I mean, it doesn't look like the best bacon ever, and it's only 375 grams, but that's awesome. I grabbed the one that looked at the meatiest. Shoppers Drug Mart on the weekends has these 2-day sales where they have the best egg prices in town. So I'm going to use those numbers, but these are actually eggs that we get from a friend of ours. If you can make it to that Shoppers Drug Mart sale, it's always a 2-day sale on the weekends where they have the cheapest eggs you can find. I am buying 400 grams of sugar at Bulk Barn prices. 454 is a pound, so it's almost a pound of sugar. I kind of liked that sliced bread, and it's only 6 cents more to get sliced bread. The not sliced bread, I think at Superstore is 94 or 95 cents, and this is $1, but they slice it all for you, which kind of is nice. Also at Superstore, they had this mild Italian sausage. If I had managed to get there earlier, they had Johnsonville mild Italian sausage on sale for cheaper than this. They had it on sale for $4.99, but this is the best I could get once I got there, and it was $5.49, I think. Grab those deals when you see them. So I've got these mild Italian sausages. They were cheaper than the spicy ones, so that's what I grabbed. You can spice them up if you want to. From Walmart, I got these diced tomatoes and these green onions. Everything's coming down in Canada. The prices are coming down because we're getting more and more produce from in Canada, so things are getting cheap. That was not bad. They didn't have Roma tomatoes. They were supposed to have them. They were supposed to be really on sale. They probably went pretty fast, but I grabbed this beefsteak tomato instead. I got one more red onion, and I went for the old cheddar cheese this week, and that is everything that I got for this week. I need to mention at the end of last week, when I was doing everything that I had left, I forgot this corn and these green beans that I still had in the freezer. Everything's in the house and it's kind of all over the place, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody knows that I had these at the end of last week. That is everything for week number, 13? This is going to be the final week, so let's see. I can use everything if I want to. This is it. This is the finale. Let's add it up. On Tuesday, I went to Save on Foods and got their campfire bacon for $1.49. I'm going to use my own eggs. Hopefully I have a picture here of the price of the eggs at Shoppers on their 2-day sale, and they were $3.59. And then Bulk Barn, so the 400 grams, hopefully I have another picture here, 27 cents for 100 grams, and I got 400 grams, so that's $1.08. At Bulk Barn prices. At Superstore, Italian sausages and French bread for $6.49. And at Walmart, green onions, red onion, the Hot House beefsteak tomato for $1.41, and the diced tomatoes at $1.77, and the Great Value Old Cheese at $3.47 for a total of $9.12. Bringing the grand total to 21, ooh, that's a little bit high, $21.77. If I had been able to get the sausages last week before the flyer expired, it would have been a little bit less. $21.77 for this week's groceries. Let's see what I came up with. So if you remember, you know that my car broke down this week, and I'm stuck at home sort of before I can get groceries for the next week. I'm doing a repeat of last week's breakfast. I'm doing banana overnight oats. I'll post a link in the description below for the recipe that I followed last week. I'm following it less carefully this week. It's basically half a cup of oats and a half a cup of milk, and then sort of whatever flavorings you want. I've got cinnamon sugar, and I'm going to add a little bit of yogurt because I like the taste of it. And we're going to put it in the fridge overnight, and then it's super yummy. I really like it. I've only got this one banana for 3 servings, so I'm not going to have any sort of fresh banana to put on top. I could still put peanut butter on top. Let's put peanut butter on top still, because that was pretty good. Sometimes you can't get in to get groceries, and you have to just eat what's in your cupboard, even if it's the same thing and not very interesting. I did manage to get a few things before the car decided to spring a leak. It was the radiator fluid leaking, unfortunately. So there you go. Things happen. Cars happen. This banana has to get eaten. It's a very mushy banana, so it'll be nice and sweet though. Yummy. Oh, look how nice and mushy this one is. Oh, very good. If you guys have other kinds of overnight oats that you like to eat, please tell me in the comments below. I feel like this is so easy, and Mr. Wanders likes it at work. Those are always great recipes to have. Make something that's good to take to work. Leave your ideas in the comments below if you have other ideas, just other flavors of overnight oats. Reconstituted evaporated milk is what I've got. A little less than half a cup, because I'm also going to add some yogurt. And I'm going to add some cinnamon sugar. Having some cinnamon sugar made up in this container is really super handy. It's about a tablespoon of yogurt to this as well. Add a little more protein and yumminess. Just mix this all together. It doesn't look like much, but the oats kind of get bigger, absorb all the liquid. And then I'll put the peanut butter on top. It looks kind of nice, big. I'm going to put them in the fridge overnight. I couldn't find any of these Ball or Bernardine lids, this same type of lid, on Amazon, but they do have a lot of Ball lids. I'll leave a link in my description below if you want to pick them up from Amazon. They're super handy to have. Next day, we just mix it up. Well, it looks pretty good. That tastes pretty good on its own. Peanut butter. It already tastes a lot like bananas, so I think that'll be good. I didn't film me eating this, but it was very good, very banana-y taste. I did miss the fresh sliced bananas on top. I think I would definitely want to have that there next time. For 3 lunches, I'm going to make kind of BLTs. I obviously don't have any L, Robin, but I'm going to add E. So we're going to make it a belt minus L. Bacon, egg, tomato, and cheese. At Tim Hortons here, they sell bagel belts. They're bacon, egg, lettuce, tomato on a bagel, and they're very yummy. I'm gonna do kind of like that, make a belt without the lettuce. And I don't have bagels, so, but it's gonna have egg. I thought about whether to do a fried egg, but I think I'm gonna scramble some eggs and just make them the right size for 3 big sandwiches. I'm gonna try to load them up. Mayonnaise on the bread, and I'm gonna fry the egg in some bacon grease. I'm gonna save one of these bacon for something else, but I'm gonna use the rest of it in these sandwiches for 3 lunches. I'm gonna add some pepper, and I think I'm gonna shred the cheese directly in there and just add like a couple of tablespoons of water. And we'll just mix that up. So I'm just gonna add the cheese in here just because I think it'll cook up nicer, be more melty. making like little cheese omelets to go on my belt sandwiches without lettuce. I gotta tell you, I got a frog in my throat and my throat hurts. So if my voice is a little crackly, I'm sorry, but I gotta show you. The smoke has rolled in. Normally I can see mountains over there and I can't see anything. Oh, the crows are here. Hello, crows. I can't see anything across this valley, like anywhere. There's mountains or hills all over there and I can't see anything. And I was out in this smoke and it's not great, and it's really making my voice really raspy and it's hurting my throat. So if I'm a little scratchy, that's why. So it's making me have to clear my throat a lot and making me pretty raspy. So that's what that is. We actually had pretty good luck this year, just here in our location, that the wind was blowing the other direction. And I'm so sorry that it blew into the United States as well from Canada. But we were lucky here in the interior of British Columbia that the wind just happened to be blowing the other way. But now it's come our direction as usual. We usually have pretty smoky days, and now BC has 300 wildfires burning. We had a huge thunderstorm the other day. Lightning was amazing, but of course it's gonna spark a bunch of fires, and the day after that it got really smoky here. Let's fry up this egg. Some bacon fat instead of, I can't believe it's not butter. Cheesy eggs. There's a lot of melty cheese in there. Just saying. Eggs. Just gonna put mayo on all these breads. Not very much mayo. Trying to be more frugal. I'm always so excited when I get a new ingredient. I use so much of it, but then I'm like, oh, I gotta be more careful so it lasts longer. Put some bacon on here. Fried eggs with cheese in there. Smells pretty good. If you had some lettuce, you could put some lettuce on there, but I don't have any lettuce right now. I'm just gonna put tomato, and that should be awesome. There's this giant hole over here, so it's kind of hard to put tomato there. So I'm gonna stick it there. Add some salt to these tomatoes, just a little bit. And more pepper, the whole thing, of course, because I like pepper. If you had some ketchup, you could put ketchup on there. I don't have any ketchup. Bacon, egg, tomato sandwiches. Almost a belt. I think you have Tim Hortons. Do you have Tim Hortons in the United States? I know it's a Canadian thing. I feel like it was bought by an American company. And I wonder if they took it to the United States, but I'm not sure. There's my 3 sandwiches for 3 lunches. The sandwich is really good. I like the cheese mixed in with the egg so that it's not separate. It is missing, however, lettuce. It would do much better with lettuce. Also, I miss whole wheat bread. For dinners, I'm going to do a recipe I found called Dublin coddle. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it looks like kind of a sausage stew. I'm going to use half of these sausages, half of this bacon. I'm going to half the recipe that I'm going to post in the description below if you want to check it out. The recipe that I'm loosely going to try to follow. I'm going to use 1.5 pounds of potatoes because I'm halving the recipe. I've got salt and pepper and parsley. I'm going to use half of a cube of this beef broth to make 1 cup of beef broth. Onion, but I'm going to fry up everything and then I'll have it ready to go for the rest of the week for other recipe ideas. Dublin coddle, it's kind of like a sausage stew, I guess. I'm gonna fry everything up and then it goes into the oven for a long time. If you have an oven-proof dish, you can fry up all this stuff and then put all the other ingredients in there and just throw it into the oven. Easy peasy. These lovely sausages. These are cooking up, and I'm going to add my bacon in there and cook it up at the same time. Oh, it's pretty fatty, this bacon. Cook all that up. Oh, it's smelling wonderful in here. I don't know. I'm going to cook it all down, but there's hardly any bacon in it. But I love the bacon grease, so there you go. I will strain that off of there, filter it, put it through a coffee filter, and save my bacon fat. Look at all that bacon fat. That is so awesome. That is so awesome. I have 1.5 pounds of potatoes. Peel them and then chop them. And half of this onion. I'm going to take half of this bouillon cube because each cube makes 2 cups. So I'm going to take half of it and make 1 cup of beef broth with it. I've got an oven-proof dish and I'm going to start layering things. It says to layer. I'm not sure how well it's going to layer, but we're going to try. It says half the onions. Chunky onion. Then bacon. Half of the bacon. Half of the bacon that I had. Bacon. I'm going to use 3 sausages. I'm going to use 1.5, I don't know, for these layers. I cut them in chunks like this. Oh, you know, it's hard not to just eat this while I'm making it. It looks so good. Dublin coddle. I've never heard of this before, ever. It's an interesting thing. Sausage. Sprinkle with half of the potatoes. Ish. This looks so good. I mean, how could bacon and sausage and potatoes be bad? Right? I don't know how this could turn out badly. More onions, the other half of an onion on top. Like, I just think it's just gonna fall through the cracks, but we'll see how it goes. Another layer of bacon, kind of. More sausage. More sausage. More potatoes. Someone said, yes, more potato recipes, please. And don't worry, I have more potato recipes. I have potatoes coming out of the garden soon. Certainly when I get back, there'll be potatoes aplenty. All our layers. Oh, I forgot the parsley. Oh man, I was supposed to do some parsley after the first layer, but that's not what happened. We'll just put a bunch on top. Season generously with salt and pepper. I mean, the sausages would have salt in them, right? Bacon's pretty salty. Lots of pepper though. Yes. And then we're gonna pour over this 1 cup of beef broth and hope that it covers it. Hope that it's enough. It says 1 inch of liquid in the bottom. I'm not sure if this is gonna make 1 inch of liquid in the bottom. Definitely liquid in there. I'm just adding maybe another 1/3 of a cup just to bring it up. There we go. Then we're gonna cover it and put it in the oven at 300 for like a really long time. 4 hours or something. 4 or 5 hours. You're supposed to bring it to a boil and then put it in the oven, but my liquid was pretty hot. This is everything that I have kind of left over. I've got half of this bacon and 2 sausages and half of this onion, and I am straining this bacon grease and it looks fabulous. Office supply fanatic is what I am. So I had these clips and then I've just got this canning thing and I just kind of clipped it in there, but you can use whatever kind of filtery contraption you can come up with to strain it through a coffee filter. And then it turns out very nice. Like, look at that. Oh, yummy. I'm excited because I was all out of bacon grease. It has been an hour and a half. I'm just gonna check. Yeah, there's still liquid in there. I'm gonna put it back in for at least another hour and a half. And it's at least 3 hours. Here we go, that's 3 hours. I was worried that it dried right out, but there's still liquid in the bottom there. Just a little bit. Maybe we could put some more in there. It smells lovely. It's made the whole house smell wonderful. The potatoes are cooked. I'm gonna make 4 dinners out of this. That was 3 hours. And I don't think it needs 4 hours or 5 hours. It's not very much though. I'm not sure if is that supposed to be 1 serving? I'm glad I got lots of bread because it did say serve with lots of bread. Okay, it did make 4 servings. I think it's gonna be very filling with all of that sausage. And then if I add at least 2 of these pieces of French bread to it, if you just use the bread to kind of soak up the wonderful juices in there. Oh, it's so good. I wish I had kind of put more liquid in it in the middle there, just because that is so tasty to kind of dip your bread in that juiciness. Oh, let's try a fork. Definitely the broth makes that yummy. That's good. I think it would depend on how flavorful your sausages are, but these Italian sausages, they're mild, but something in here is a little bit spicy. Oh, I like this. I mean, it's kind of crazy to be making it in the summer when it's really hot out, but I think I would make this again in the winter time. Ooh, it's got a nice little Italian sausage flavor to it. The bacon is nice too. The potatoes are good. It could have a little bit more water, but you could just add more water if you wanted to. Make it more like a soupiness. So that is called a Dublin coddle. I'm sure that it's usually served in much bigger servings. This is okay for me. It might not be okay for Mr. Wanders. I gave him a slightly bigger serving here, and then he's got some for lunches as well. This would be fine for me for 4 meals. Absolutely. You'd probably do it in a slow cooker as well, and that would work. Thumbs up for me, actually. Dublin, what was it? Coddle? Never heard of it before. And you can use probably different sausages. Maybe some bratwurst or something would be good too. I'll post a link in the description below if you want to give it a try. I wanted to share one of my overnight oats with Mr. Wanders, and so I gave it to him and he said, well, this needs fruit. So he went rifling around in our freezer looking for fruit, and he found our frozen strawberries from last year that need to be used up, and he threw them on there. He said it was really good. It was kind of cheaty because those weren't included in my $21 a week grocery challenge, but you can put whatever fruit you want. I made one for Mr. Wanders' lunch. He'll take that to work. We'll squish it down. Yummy. Even though this Dublin coddle doesn't look like a big serving, it actually was very, very filling. I think the next time, I mean, is there such a thing as Dublin coddle soup? Was it supposed to be more soupy? I'm not sure. I think it would make a wonderful soup. More overnight oats for breakfast. I do wish I had some kind of fruit that I could put on top. I think any kind of fruit at all would be awesome with this. Bananas, strawberries, apples even would be great. Overnight oats, I think, seems very versatile. And a third lunch of these belt sandwiches without the lettuce. I think it really needs lettuce, that's for sure. But super yummy, easy to make. Mr. Wanders took this Dublin coddle for work and really loved it. Good morning. For breakfast this morning and for 4 breakfasts, I'm going to make an interesting recipe I found called crashed eggs. There's a couple of different names for it. It's a lot like those eggs that kind of simmer in the tomato sauce, but the tomato this time is just kind of for flavor. It's not simmering. It's not a poached egg. They're smashed eggs, which means you drop them and they become like a fried egg apparently. I'm gonna use up the rest of my green onions. I've got a little bit of cheese. The recipe didn't ask for cheese. The recipe that I'm loosely going to try to follow, I will post a link in the description below but I think I'll probably want to grate some cheese on top. I've got some bacon grease sort of to fry the onions, and then you fry these sliced up potatoes. I've got parsley, red pepper, and garlic to add to it. I'm probably going to cook 4 eggs, and then you add this tomato kind of just as flavor. And then I'm going to serve it with some toasted bread. I think that there's a Spanish name. I can try to pronounce it. Proper Spanish name: huevo estrellados con patate y tomate, or tomate. Do they say tomate or tomate? Huevos estrellados. Crashed eggs. Yeah, give it a try. I'm actually going to use some of this. I can't believe it's not butter. I'm going to try to use this up because it's the end of the challenge. But I am going to add some bacon grease for flavor as well, because you just can't beat bacon grease for flavor. But we'll add some of this I can't believe it's not butter too. What a great deal it is. If you don't have much money, I can't believe it's not butter is always on for a really good price. I'm just going to add some bacon grease just to give it a little more flavor. There we go. I'm going to put the white parts of the green onions, or the kind of white parts of the green onions, in there. I'm just looking around it and I'm trying to use up things before we go on holidays, so just gonna kind of cheat and add a little bit of white onion that I have to use before we go away. Yep, whatever oniony things you can find laying around. A little bit of cheaty there. It asked for 1 onion and I don't have that, but just find whatever oniony type things you have. And I've got these thin potato slices that I did. I'm gonna put them in there too and fry everything up. Fry them up, says 8 minutes. Not quite cooking very well, so I'm just going to steam them. Put the lid on for a couple minutes. All right, those are done. Right, now I'm going to cook up these tomatoes and their juices with some garlic powder and salt and some red pepper flakes. Of course, the recipe called for paprika, and weirdly enough, I have not bought paprika for this challenge yet, which is strange. I feel like I bought it, but it was for the spice drive, not this challenge. But some red pepper flakes in there, just to spice it up a little bit. I think I'll have to try that smoked paprika. It's very Spanish in a lot of Spanish dishes. Doesn't look like quite enough tomatoes, so I'm just gonna take just a couple of spoonfuls of diced tomatoes out of this can that I have. Just a couple of more spoonfuls of diced tomatoes. Plus it has those seasonings in there a little bit and give it a little more liquidiness. And we're gonna add the potatoes and onions back in. Then we're gonna try, I think I'm gonna break my eggs in here first so I don't get shell in the meal. But the whole thing is, you wanna drop the eggs from a distance so that they break. That one didn't break. From a higher distance, from a higher height. Ah, that one broke. Some height, but not too much height. I don't know about this. Crashed eggs. Kind of didn't stay at all in one place. So, I don't know. Yep. Pepper, it's always good. So they're basically just kind of a fried broken egg. Fried broken eggs. And some dried parsley I can put on top. Here it is. It looks pretty good. I kind of like moved it around so the eggs would kind of spread out. Got a nice piece of toast. Ooh. It does smell pretty tomatoey. Some tomatoes, some potatoes, some egg. I kind of divided it up in triangles so that I could make the amount of egg in each serving equal. It didn't really drop where I wanted them to drop is what happened. A little more salt on those tomatoes, more pepper. And then I've got the tops of the green onions that I didn't put in. And I can just put those on top too. It is crushed eggs, or huevos rochos also it's called. But crushed eggs with potatoes and tomatoes. Just basically cook up some potatoes and onions and tomatoes and break some eggs on top. How could that be bad? Oh, I just want some of the egg. Oh, it's a big bite. That's really good. That's so good. The egg just kind of ends up everywhere, which is fine. It's not really a fried egg. It's not really a poached egg. It's just kind of in everything. Very fresh with the tomato and the green onions. I like it. And it was pretty easy. I think the longest part of that was just slicing the potatoes really thin. Thumbs up for me. Check the link in the description below for the recipe. Oh, you know what I forgot? Cheese. How can I forget cheese? That's crazy. Everything needs a little bit of cheese. It already looks better with the melted cheese. It already does. Of course you want cheese with it. Yep, cheese is good. I gotta use up that cheese. I can grate some cheese on there and just kind of heat it up quickly with the lid on, and hopefully the cheese melts on top. There, you'd never even know that I forgot the cheese. That looks so yummy. So that's gonna be 3 more meals. For lunch today, I'm gonna use this pinto bean burger patty thing that I made, I think a couple weeks ago. It's been in the freezer. I don't have a bun, but I'm gonna put it on 2 slices of bread, like a sandwich. I've got some condiments I can use. I have some mustard. I have a little bit of onion. I've got mayonnaise, some cheese, tomato, and salsa that I can put on this kind of sandwich burger thing just for one lunch. Rather than microwaving it, I'm just gonna try frying it up and melting some cheese on top. Build a pinto bean burger. I'm gonna put mustard and onions on the bottom. It's gonna be a weird assortment of flavors, but why not use everything I have, okay? And then on the top, I'm gonna put mayonnaise. I probably just could have used the salsa instead of the mayonnaise and then salsa. That's silly, but that's what we got. It's like having mayonnaise and ketchup. Salsa and some tomatoes as well. Over here, we'll try and melt this cheese. Here we go. Just cut it a little bit so it would fit better. There we go. And we're gonna smush it together. Oh. There you go, pinto bean sandwich. There it is. It looks pretty good. My pinto bean. Oh, yummy. With the melty cheese and the tomato and the salsa. Yep. Yummy. Yeah, that's pretty good. A little bit messy, but otherwise pretty fine for lunch. I wasn't sure how these pinto bean patties were gonna reheat, but they did just fine heating them up in a frying pan. More of this Dublin coddle for dinner tonight. I think if I made this recipe again, I would double the juices, the liquids, because it's so flavorful and yummy. I want more of it all the time. It's such a good dinner. Yum. New member shout out today. I couldn't resist using the beautiful lilies that I have flowering in my yard. They're so gorgeous. They smell so wonderful. So new member shout out today for Janie Goodman. Yay, thank you so much, Janie, for becoming a member and helping to support my channel. Welcome to the membership, Janie. There's some emojis to use, members only polls, and of course this beautiful shout out to you. There's been quite a few new members lately, and it's kind of fun for me actually to go out and try to find something beautiful that I can do a new member shout out for. Makes you focus on the things that are beautiful in your yard instead of the disappointing things. So that's always fun for me. Thank you so much, Janie, for becoming a member. It is beautiful just to get up close and take a good look at these tiger lilies, I think, in my yard. They certainly look like tigers are. Oh, and I've got some of these other lilies as well. I don't think they're stargazers. They don't smell like stargazers, but they do smell wonderful. I love lilies. There we go. The lilies in my yard for Janie Goodman. Another breakfast of crushed eggs. Super yummy. For 3 lunches, I found a relatively easy looking potato corn chowder. I'll post a link in the description below if you want to take a look at it. I'm very loosely going to try to follow it. I don't have any chicken broth. I'm going to try making it with beef broth. I've never actually made potato corn chowder with beef broth, so I'm not sure how it's going to go. So there we go. I'm going to half the recipe for 3 lunches. We'll call that 2 medium potatoes. I've got this leftover frozen corn, maybe a cup and a half. I've got this red onion. That'll add some color to things. I've got some parsley, garlic, celery seed. I've got this leftover milk, salt and pepper, obviously. I don't have cornstarch, but I do have this tablespoon of just regular flour. I've got some cheese and bacon that I can put on top of it. And then some bread if I want to dip things in things. And actually, I'll probably fry the onion up in bacon fat as well to add some more flavor. And I can put some green onions on top too. All kinds of garnish on top of this yummy soup. I usually make it with chicken broth. I hope it's still yummy with beef broth. We'll see. How could it be bad? It can't be bad. These things all put together can't be bad. So we're gonna make some soup. Soup is soup. It's very forgiving. 1/4 of a large onion is what I'm going to use. I'm going to add some celery seed because I don't have any celery. Lots of celery seed. Some garlic powder because I don't have any garlic. Salt. We can salt to taste later. And pepper. Half of a beef bouillon cube. A little bit of parsley because I don't have any thyme. Thyme might be a good thing to have sometimes. Sometimes is better than parsley. And add all these potatoes. Whoa. And the corn. I love the combination of potatoes and corn together. I think it needs just a little bit more water. Yeah, like 1/4 cup more. I'm gonna bring that to a boil. Cook it till those potatoes are done. Oh, those potatoes are cooked. Okay, first I mixed my flour with cold water so that it would mix nicely and not get so lumpy. And now I'm gonna combine it with my milk that I have and kind of mix it together. There's nothing worse than lumpy flour. I'm supposed to add 1.5 cups of milk. Wait for it to get kind of creamy. I think that right away, the soup just doesn't look the bright white color that I'm used to seeing, and it has to be because of the beef broth. I don't think that that's gonna matter to the taste. Let's get this in a bowl because it smells wonderful. Yep. Okay, I got my soup and I have some grated cheese and chopped up bacon and some green onions. And then I was thinking I could put some yogurt like sour cream on top. Do you guys think dill would be okay? I don't know about dill. It's potatoes though. Potatoes and bacon and cheese. I feel like dill should go. I might try a little bit of dill. And then I've got bread. I don't know. This looks like a pretty heavy soup and I made a fair amount, so I'm probably not going to use bread, but you could if you wanted to dip some bread in your soup. It definitely made a lot of soup, so I'm pretty happy. I halved the recipe, and lately I've been halving the recipe and the serving sizes are tiny, but I halved this recipe. It was meant for 6 and I halved it, and it is making 3 good size portions of soup. I think that some yogurt or sour cream is going to be wonderful. I think it'll make it creamier too. Some cheese. I always love cheddar cheese on my potato soups, whether they're cream of potato or potato chowders. Bacon, some green onions. Right, let's try this, and then maybe I'll try it with the dill. Some green onions. That is very good. You know what? I hate the way cheese sticks to my spoon, but I always want it. The green onions are really nice in there. Yes, yes, yes. If anything, it just needs a little bit more salt, I'd say. Tiny bit more salt. I'm not sure about this dill, so we're gonna try it just on a small bit of it. You know, dill goes with potato. I don't know if it goes with potato corn chowder, but here we go. I've got dill to use. Let's try it. I do, however, have a ton of cucumbers coming out of the garden, so if I don't use it right now, I can always use it in cucumber salads. Yeah, it's fine. That's fine. Put some dill in your potato corn chowder. Yeah, it's okay. It gives it kind of a different taste, but it's not bad, especially if you really like dill. Potato corn chowder, always a thumbs up. I'm impressed that the beef broth didn't change it too much, although it did kind of change the color. And then you can top it with whatever you want. Bacon bits, cheese, dill, green onions. Yeah, after that, yummy for 3 lunches. For 3 dinners, I am definitely going to make a pasta with the sausages that I have left. I have 2 sausages. A few people suggested the pasta with the sausages. Got diced tomatoes. I had some tomato paste in the freezer. I've got oregano, garlic, basil, some red pepper flakes, and salt and pepper. I might add some soy sauce just to give it a little kick. I've got the rest of this bread that I think I'm gonna kind of make some cheesy bread. I found another garlic thing in the fridge, so I'll probably make some garlic cheesy bread out of that. I've got an onion. I'm gonna make 3 dinners. 1 will be on spaghetti and 2 will be on rotini. And I've got enough bread for 3 dinners plus a little extra. I'm gonna throw it all in the pot and I'm gonna let it simmer for a while just to make it yummy. I'm gonna try to use up the rest of this. I can't believe it's not butter. Oh, you could get some wax paper to get the rest of this out if you wanted to. The rest of my red onions will fry up. Oh, yummy. 2 of these Italian sausages. I kind of split them lengthwise and then chopped them up. Whoa, making a mess. I don't make spaghetti sauce with sausages very often, but I love the flavor of these. I think it's gonna be really good. They kind of have their own spices in them, but I'm gonna add some more. Basil. Oregano, I wasn't filming, and some garlic. A teaspoon each of basil, oregano, and some garlic. Some red pepper flakes, just to give it some kick. There's kind of spicy, those sausages too, so I don't have too much. Red pepper flakes, yummy. And just some salt, maybe a little bit. I think there's salt in the sausages. And some pepper. Regular pepper, about half of a tin of tomato paste. And then, however much you have. Just rinse out the containers as best I can. And I have this whole thing of diced tomatoes with seasonings. That one was with seasonings, Italian seasonings, so that'll help the sauce too. I'm gonna leave that to simmer for a couple of hours, adding water if it looks like it's getting too dry. Though obviously the longer you can cook those diced tomatoes, the better. Come to think of it, I think I might add a little bit of sugar. A couple things I forgot, so I'm gonna add this soy sauce. About a teaspoon of sugar. You know, I try to start out with all the ingredients, but then I remember other things as I'm cooking. I do want to add my last bouillon cube of this beef flavored bouillon to this spaghetti sauce. I find adding beef bouillon to spaghetti, especially like making it from fresh tomatoes, really adds to it. So that's going to go in there too. Yummy. Right now we're going to let that simmer for on low for a couple of hours. The longer it cooks for, the better it gets. It's about an hour and a half in. It is smelling and tasting wonderful. I'm gonna get some pasta cooking. I'm gonna do up some cheesy garlic breads in the oven. Got myself another garlic packet from the pizza place. I think I've almost used them all up that I had in my fridge. Not quite though. It seemed to be this is the only thing they give you if you don't pick a sauce, and I often don't pick a sauce, so I end up with lots of these, which I don't use when I'm eating the pizza, so I have a whole bunch of them. I'm gonna use like a brush thing to try and spread this on the toasts, on the breads. And I'm just gonna grate some cheese on top. So it'd be garlic and cheesy bread. Some spaghetti for one dinner. There was actually a lot more rotini than I thought there was. There's about 4 cups of rotini. So these are gonna be some big pasta meals. Probably definitely 1 serving of spaghetti. That should be 3 meals easily. The spaghetti noodles and stuff are cooked, and I'm gonna throw this in the broiler. Maybe just watch it really carefully. Broil low. I can't be trusted with broil high. All right, I'm gonna add some of my pasta water to this spaghetti sauce. I am meal prepping this spaghetti. There's only really 1 serving of the spaghetti. That is a lot of rotini. I'm just saying. Wow. I'm gonna try and spread out this pasta sauce. Looks pretty good with that sausage in there. I think it's gonna be good. It seems like a lot of sauce. Wow, that is a lot of sauce. Excellent. Just because I have a little bit of cheese, I'm gonna finish off this cheese on this pasta. Cheese everywhere. More cheesy bread to go with all the cheesy stuff. It's like a cheesy meal. More cheesy bread. Cheesy garlic bread. 3 servings of pasta with Italian sausage pasta sauce. Always diced tomatoes. Pretty basic, kind of from scratch pasta sauce. And it tastes pretty good. The beef bouillon always adds a little bit extra, makes it taste a little bit better. So I'm glad I remembered to add it. Definitely, you could make the pasta whenever you want to eat it. The spaghetti sauce, I find always, whatever spaghetti sauce always gets better if you leave it for a day. So you could definitely do that. You can meal prep like I've done here. You can make meal prep and the garlic bread will easily reheat. 3 meals of my 21 meals for this week. Let's give it a try. This sausage, of course, is going to be good in here, right? Italian sausage in a marinara sauce. That's nice, but the sausage is nice. I like it. I think because I made it from scratch with diced tomatoes, it was a little bit watery. That sausage is really good. Even the mild one is a little bit spicy. I wasn't expecting it to be spicy at all, but it was. That garlicky pizza sauce or whatever it is fine on there. It's not very strong though. I'm gonna eat this up. More crashed eggs for breakfast. I really like this recipe. It's really super easy. And then I'm having some more potato corn chowder with all the fixings for lunch. And then some more tomato or pasta, sausage pasta for dinner. More crashed eggs for breakfast, and this time I remembered to put chives on it, and that was really good. Potato corn chowder for lunch. It made a great meal prep idea for Mr. Wanders to take to work. And then this is the only spaghetti, but it was just as good with spaghetti as it was with rotini, this sausage pasta. All right, you guys, this is everything left at the end of week number 13 of my $21 a week grocery challenge. I feel like this time, as opposed to the first time I did it, it was a little bit harder to accumulate sort of bigger staples, but I feel like this time I did a much better job of accumulating spices early on to just sort of add variety to meals. I learned from the first one that you need spices to make meals interesting. So I got spices fairly early on. There's a couple that aren't labeled. This is just cinnamon sugar. This one is pickling spice. And this one I think is garam masala. They just didn't have labels. But I got kind of a variety. There's a couple of things that I might get next time. Turmeric. And always just trying to get it as quickly as possible. I have spices. I did end up with some baking powder. I never did get to do much baking. I didn't have a chance. Maybe in the next time I'll start out with a lot more baking so I can do a lot more bread. I wasn't really feeling it. Let's get the freezer stuff back in. This is 2 tablespoons of lemon juice that I just squeezed from 11. This is leftover pineapple juice. I'm sure I could use this in a smoothie or something. That would be wonderful. And then I've got this one packet of green beans and lima beans that was in the mixed frozen vegetables. I have this leftover bacon fat, this bacon grease that I really love that I will use definitely. I do still have 6 eggs left over and some salsa. That could be a meal. Salsa eggs, definitely. I've got yogurt, probably half of this thing of yogurt left. Frank's hot sauce, that was kind of nice to have. Mustard, I didn't really use the mustard at all, really, very much. I mean, a couple of times I used it. It probably wasn't worth it to get the mustard. Peanut butter, I wish I had gotten a little bit earlier on. The mayonnaise is awesome. I use it all the time. I do have this unused pickling spice left over. I was just making breadcrumbs pretty consistently, as I do. I've got this dill that I haven't frozen or used up yet. It's great to get that big bag of pinto beans because they are so useful in so many things. And then oats. Oats are great. Great morning breakfast ideas. You can use them for other things and they're fairly inexpensive. I would probably try and get those earlier on next time. I didn't use all my soy sauce. That's what I've got in this container that I kind of selected from my fridge to use up in this challenge. I didn't find a use for this, just this small amount of split peas, but if I get some more split peas, I'll probably make some split pea soup. I did get kind of a lot of flour with plans on baking. It just didn't happen, but I could bake things now. Oh no, I never got the baking soda. I think next time I would start out with some baking stuff and make kind of more breads and stuff early on, maybe. But baking soda is kind of expensive to buy when you don't have anything else to eat. You want to spend $2 on baking soda. I should have looked for baking soda at Bulk Barn. I don't know if they have it. And then I just recently, this last week, picked up some more sugar and some more rice. Rice is a nice staple to have. So I've got a few staples, rice and oats and flour and pinto beans. It's not a bad ending, really. I just feel like it's not quite as much stuff as I had at the end of the first challenge. Things were a lot more expensive now, to be honest. I did notice a lot of price increases in things. as I have in my normal life as well. Eggs, especially hard to get. Yeah, meat is very, very expensive. The inexpensive meats that I did in the first challenge, I think, just weren't there very much. I think it was fortunate to have the Flash Food app starting up, because that can be a real bonus if you can grab stuff and use those that are just right at their best before date. And even if you just throw them in the freezer and use them later, it is a really awesome deal. I've noticed that lately they're taking fresh stuff and they're freezing it and they're selling it as fresh to frozen. So that's awesome, because that's what I would do with it anyways. The Flash Food app kind of saved me in quite a few weeks for sure. That's everything that I have at the end of this challenge. I appreciate you guys so much for being here, for following along, for being excited, for being encouraging, for all of your comments and all of the new members. It's just been so great. I'd like to hit 7,500 subscribers by the end of the year. That's my goal. It's good to have goals. So if you aren't already a subscriber, please subscribe so that you'll be notified when I start my next challenge. Just hit that subscribe button. You can click my face to subscribe. I'll leave links to the entire 2023 $21 a week grocery challenge if you want to watch everything from the beginning, as well as anything else that you might be interested in. I hope you enjoyed this second season of the $21 a week grocery challenge, and I look forward to doing it again next time. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. Bye, guys.